If you've been applying to jobs lately, you probably realized that the market has turned into a massive impersonal machine. You spend hours tailoring your resume for a role, only to have it auto-rejected months or weeks later, if you're lucky. Have you ever wondered why our resumes get auto-rejected, especially after we put so much time and effort into them? It makes you wonder, was it the applicant tracking system, my resume, or was it the lack of a LinkedIn? Once I was done banging my head against the wall, I realized something. What if it isn't the applicant tracking system? What if our resumes are actually perfect, but the system isn't even looking at our resume in the first place? So in today's video, we're going to go over some common job application myths and some solutions that I found. Before you go over optimizing your resume font for the 10th time, use this video as a checklist before you hit apply. Before you go down a rabbit hole of rewriting your whole life story, check these two things off your list. First thing on the checklist, your resume format. Personally, I've found that simpler is better, surprisingly better. So I stopped using tables, columns, and fancy layouts and stuck to a clean single column format. This makes it much easier for applicant tracking systems to scan and convert your resume correctly. That said, use what works best for you. Just know that over-designing can actually hurt you. The LinkedIn obsession. Here's a hot take. Don't worry about optimizing your LinkedIn profile yet. In my experience, hiring managers don't seem to usually check out your LinkedIn or socials until you're at the final stage of the interview process. That is, if your LinkedIn is even looked at all. Depending on where you are in your career, this may or may not matter, but I think that this can be tremendously helpful for anyone starting out in their career. Stop and ask yourself, what job role do I actually want? And once you understand that, let's figure out how to get there by asking some simple questions. What are the barriers to entry? Requirements, years of experience, skills, tools. The idea is to work backwards and create little stepping stones. So rather than reaching for the stars and hoping for the best, you can create your own path to get to where you want to be. Let's use this CrowdStrike IAM Engineer job posting as a real example. In cybersecurity, I believe the demand for identity and access management will continue to grow, especially with the rise of AI. So let's say I want to be an IAM engineer. I work backwards and ask, what do IAM engineers actually do? And what tools show up the most in job descriptions? You'll start noticing a pattern with these identity and access tools. CyberArk is commonly used for privileged access management, and ServiceNow is often used for automation and ticketing within IAM workflows. So then the question becomes obvious. How do you gain experience with enterprise tools like these? You can start by working as an IAM analyst, and that consistency is actually a good thing. So when you look at the requirements, most IAM engineer roles ask for between 2 to 3 years of experience. Some require a bachelor's degree and some won't, but almost all of them will expect the same foundational skills. So working as an IAM analyst will give you direct exposure to these tools, these workflows, and these responsibilities, and creates a very clear vertical path forward. Before applying to a job post, check the date from when the job was posted and the number of applicants that have already applied if possible. I noticed that if I applied to a job post with over 100 applicants, I was invisible. But when I applied to posts with less than 100, the callbacks started to roll in. Most people use the last 24 hours filter on LinkedIn, but by the time 24 hours had passed, 500 people may have already applied, and you want to be first. Here's the golden hour trick to try with LinkedIn. So run your LinkedIn search as usual and select the past 24 hours filter. Look at the URL bar or parameter and find the part that says F_TPR equals R86400. That number represents the seconds in a day, so 86,400 represents 24 hours. If you were to change that to 3,600 and hit enter, you're now looking at jobs posted within the last hour. Is it safe? Absolutely. You're just being a very specific digital librarian by modifying a standard get parameter. It's a normal way that websites filter data. If you found this helpful, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what role you're targeting or other tips and tricks that you use.